This is Morten from Inkish. One of the companies you meet at many different locations when you go to trade shows, you go to open houses, you go to different events, is obviously GEW, which is one of the leading manufacturers of UV equipment. And I'm here with Gary from GEW.
Hi, Morten.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
It's a bit noisy here, but that sounds like dollars being printed, doesn't it?
It is. It's printing money.
Yeah.
And actually, the more you hear that noise, the better it is.
Yeah. And I think that the role that GEW has as a supplier, not only to Komori, like we're seeing here, but in general to the industry, is basically taking advantage of a very interesting technology, which is a lot of people knows about it. Still a mystery how light can dry ink, right? But that is your business, right?
It is. And well, you know, GEW have been doing this for 32 years now.
Is it really 32 years?
32 years, and predominantly they've been very active in the narrow and flexo web market. But the last 5 years, we've really concentrated more in a sheet-fed application, which we see today here at the open house. But we offer UV and UV LED or LED UV, whichever way you want to use it. But it's a very nice technology, and and it works.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, because one thing is that you have you did also Mercury, or you still do Mercury as well.
Still do, yeah.
But I was just thinking, because if you look at one of the reasons why I believe especially LED UV is getting more and more interesting is because in the beginning there was a lot of issues about food safety and health issues because you had a fair amount of photo initiators in the ink. But it seems that the formula of getting less photo initiators and more specific beams and frequencies on the lamps have helped you extending the market, right?
True. I mean, there are advantages with LED UV, and what's really been holding that back is, as you say, like the inks with like low migration for food. But actually, the ink technology now is really catching up with the lamp technology. And that's becoming more available. And of course, the other thing is that whilst it is available, the cost is still rather high, say, compared to conventional low migration ink. But that's changing rapidly.
Yeah, because I actually thought it was actually starting to lower, but you're still okay.
It's lower.
It is
much
okay.
lower.
Yeah, but it basically, because if you look at why people should be interested in UV curing, is basically because first of all you have a totally dry sheet when you're finished printing, but the other thing is that the demands from customers about faster turnaround time, higher densities, also on uncoated stocks, gives you new opportunities simply.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, so let's take a commercial, your normal industrial commercial printer who, say, wants to become a more general in the market, offer more exotic substrates, then really without UV, that's going to be very difficult because the ink will never dry on a plastic.
Yeah.
So what UV does, and in particular on the retrofits that we do with LED UV, is that you are able to print on metallized paper, plastics, recycled board, uncoated board, much easier, get a much better result, a perfect result, much sharper color, and more importantly, finish it straight away. The minute it comes off the machine, you can put it through the folders, you can trim it, you can cut it, you don't need spray powder anymore. Energy costs are very, very low on LED UV, so there's a whole multitude of advantages.
I can give you a free KPI if you want to, because I think you can even broaden it, because I have heard a lot of stories lately that basically if you invest in a retrofitting of your offset machine with, for example, some LED, you basically extend the life of the press, because now you can definitely use it maybe for maybe a year or 2 years longer. And in a market that is still a little bit, in distress, it must be also nice.
It's true, because whilst I'm mindful of where we are, and these guys want to sell new machines, we do see where customers have machines that are slightly older, an older vintage, who want to do, again, a broader spectrum of work. And what's the choice? I buy a brand new machine with all this equipment on, or can I retrofit something like a UV dryer? Well, of course, the answer is that you can fit a Leo LED very simply to any machine, quite honestly, and transform it. So that machine that was really restricted to a certain particular type of commercial work can now do pretty much everything. In fact, an example is we've got a very good customer in London that was a high-end sort of commercial book publication printer. And during the COVID experience that we all endured, he managed to sort of capture some packaging work. And actually that packaging work has now developed to a pretty substantial part of his business. And he did say to me recently, and I know he won't mind me repeating this, but he did say, if it hadn't, his words were, I mean not verbatim, but if it hadn't been for the fact that we'd retrofitted to our Speedmaster CD102, your system, your Leo-led system, we probably wouldn't be in business.
Wow.
Those are his words. You know.
It's almost, sounds almost like an American story, right?
No, it's yeah, but it's.
I was just thinking like Disney World, where we have like the happy endings,
it
right?
It sounds unbelievable, I know, but it's a true
No, I know
story,
these stories are
London,
true. Yeah. One last thing, and then I will let you off the hook. One thing that I also think is a very interesting thing with GEW, as far as I know, is that if you have a Mercury system today, you can basically take the frame and replace it with LED, at least on the newer generation of the Mercury system, right?
Yeah. In a heartbeat. Any system you've bought in the last couple of years, actually, if you have a system with our E4C arc LED lamp in the machine, it's really as simple as buying a Leo LED cassette, sliding out your E4C UV cassette, sliding in your Leo LED UV cassette, and you're done. Automatically you switched over and you're running LED UV. And it really is, as I'm saying it, in that time, is as quick as it is and as simple as it is. Yeah. Beautiful, yeah.
Thank you, Gary.
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
You too.